Good evening, one and all. We welcome you all to the international webinar series on holistic health, well-being, and sustainable development 2025, commemorating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, nation celebrating 77 years of independence and United Nations Sustainable Development Goals 2015 to 2030 as part of awareness and campaigns in collaboration with Sri Holistic Health Foundation India and Sri Research Institute Center for Art, Sciences and Wellbeing. And also commemorating Viksit Bharat at 2047. Before we start our sessions, let's take the blessings of Almighty.
कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः
With the blessings of Almighty, we shall continue with today's commemorations. Today is commemorated as International Day of Tropics on 29 June every year. The future belongs to the tropics. The tropics hold nearly 95% of the world's mangrove forests by area and 99% of mangrove species. The tropics have just over half of the world's renewable water resources, 54%, yet almost half their population is considered vulnerable to water stress. Biodiversity is greater in the tropics, however, loss of biodiversity is also greater in the tropics than in the rest of the world. So the International Day of the Tropics celebrates the extraordinary diversity of the tropics while highlighting unique challenges and opportunities nations of the tropics face. It provides an opportunity to take stock of progress across the tropics, to share tropical stories and expertise, and to acknowledge the diversity and potential of the region. The ecosystem, the tropics are a region of Earth roughly defined as a area between the Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Capricorn. Although topography and other factors continue to climate variation, tropical locations are typically warm and experience little seasonal changes in the day-to-day temperature. An important feature of tropics is the prevalence of rain in the most inner regions near the equator, and that is, seasonality of rainfall increases with the distance from the equator. So the tropical region faces several challenges such as climate change, deforestation, logging, urbanization, and demographic challenges. So the human system So the inaugural State of the Tropics report was launched on 29 June 2014 As a culmination of a collaboration between 12 leading tropical research institutions, the report offers a unique perspective on this increasingly important region, making the anniversary of the report's launch. The United Nations General Assembly adopted resolution 70 by 267 in 2016, which declared that 29 June of each year is being observed as the International Day of Tropics. The International Day of the Tropics was designated to raise awareness to the specific challenges faced by tropic areas as far-reaching the implications of the issues affecting the world's tropical zone and the need at all levels to raise awareness and to underline the important role that countries in the tropics will play in achieving the sustainable development goals. So putting an end to preventable diseases in the tropics, neglected tropical diseases entities are a diverse group of 20 conditions that are mainly prevalent in tropical areas where they mostly affect impoverished communities and disproportionately affect women and children. These diseases cause devastating health, social, and economic consequences to more than 1 billion people. Protecting the forests of the Colombian Amazon while improving the living conditions of the communities that inhabit them is the mission of the Guardian of the Amazon, specifically devoted to empowering indigenous women to not only participate in but become leaders of conservation and governance in their collective territories. Guardians of the Amazon are supported by the Global Environment Facility Small Grants Program. Today is also commemorated as International Fisherman Day on June 29th every year. It is a unique festival that recognizes and integrates the efforts of fishermen around the world. Fishing has been part of every single society globally since the prehistoric era. Fishing has been a viable source of food and trading from time immemorial. Fishermen all over the world are incredibly important to the food chain since the fish they catch are major sources of nutrition for the inhabitants of the nation and the entire globe in terms of exportation. Fishing is a prehistoric activity that has been associated with mankind since its inception, although the activity dates back 40,000 years ago. There is hardly any corner of the planet where fishermen are not present carrying out their duty. For the brave, fishing is a thrilling and adventurous sport. International Fishermen's Day is observed by thousands of people throughout the world as a way of celebrating the men and women who work in the fishing industry. The day is observed by a variety of celebrations with fish serving as main entries. Fishermen launch into deep to gather large catches on the International Fishermen's Day, which is celebrated with fanfare. International Fishermen's Day is an annual day of activities organized by fishermen committee in various nations around the world to promise the improvement and preservation of the fishing industry by celebrating the contributors of diverse fishermen. Furthermore, the day is set aside to strengthen reliable connections between fishing communities, vendors, processors, government and non-government agencies, and different stakeholders towards building a profitable and sustainable fishing sector. Many people are all around the world, such as fish buyers, large fish companies, local folks, and fishermen, look for this day for June 29 every year as a special time to team up and network to sell, buy, and appropriate everyone's effort to make the fishing industry a remarkably sustainable one. Today is also commemorated as International Mud Day in US, which is an exciting date not only to play and have fun with mud, but to raise awareness about cleanliness and access to sanitation in different parts of the world. International Mud Day strives to bring children from all over the world together through ground by allowing them to play in the mud. Children and early childhood professions all over the world celebrate International Mud Day by getting really muddy and observing nature, the outdoors, and sunrise. At the World Forum for Early Childhood Care and Education, members of Nature Action Collaboration for Children, Gillian McCaffrey and Bishu Bhatta got together to talk about the differences in playing with mud between their countries, Australia and Nepal, respectively. The issue was Gillian's region in Australia was the lack of mud since it's a very sandy place. However, Bishu's problem wasn't the amount of mud, but the lack of clothes and even soap to wash them. When Gillian's mentioned this issue to children from her community, they all got together and started a campaign to raise money and send it to the kids in Nepal so they could afford the clothes and soap. Soon enough, the Australian kids were able to raise $1,000 and Bishu was able to organize an event for the Nepal children of the Panchkal orphanage. Not only did they get to play in the mud, but they all were also able to have their first meal in the 5 months. Ever since, every year, both groups get together in their own cultures to play in the mud. In 2030, 6 families from Australia even traveled to Nepal to participate in the celebration. These families have also helped fund the renovations of the orphanage. From Holland to Nepal to the US, the resulting partnership has motivated educators, children, and families to commemorate International Mud Day every year on June 29. We all look for the same on Muddy Day, regardless of age, color, and religion. Throughout the years, new resources have been published to help educators from all around the world celebrate the International Day, Mud Day, and help their students connect with nature and understand the differences between relationship with mud and other peoples. There is also commemorated as International Autonomy Day, which is observed on June 29th every year in French Polynesia. It honors Tahitian and French Polynesian self-rule. Additionally, it marks the annexation of the Kingdom of Tahiti and the handover of control to France by King Punere V. While many political parties celebrates the day with festivities, some also believe it should be a day for mourning instead. Nonetheless, celebrations happen mainly in the national capital of Papeete and includes parades, entertainment, and concerts. The actual date French Polynesia achieved internal autonomy was September 6, 1985. French Polynesia is an overseas collectivity of France. It consists of 121 islands and atolls that stretch over an area of 1,200 miles in the South Pacific Ocean. It is believed that the islands were inhabited around 1500 BC when Austronesian people journeyed across the Pacific Ocean during the Great Polynesian Migration in about 2000 BC. The Marquesas Islands were the first French Polynesian islands to be settled. Further voyages southwest led to the discovery of the Society Islands around 300 AD. Today is also commemorated as Bonalu, a festival which is celebrated in the month of Ashada Masam, which usually falls in July or August according to the Gregorian calendar. This year, festival falls from June 29th. Actually, it started on June 27th and it continues till July 20. So the festival is celebrated mainly in the twin cities of Hyderabad and Secunderabad, and also as well as in other parts of state of Telangana in the honor of Hindu goddess Mahakali. It is a merry and colorful affair with women dressing up in their traditional outfits called saris, jewelry, and other accessories. Women carry bonum, a meal prepared of rice, milk, and jaggery in earthen pots over their heads as offering to the goddess. Mahakali is a fierce Hindu goddess of destruction and doomsday. Her origin is mentioned in various Puranic and Tantric Hindu scriptures, where she is portrayed as the primeval force of universe. She is described as abstract energy and is considered to be the goddess of time. In most Indian depictions, she has a blue-black complexion, forearms carrying weapons, a demon head and a skull cup, and small fangs. Disheveled hair, eyes full of rage, and rolling tongue. She is adorned with a necklace of 108 demon hands and wears a skirt made of demons' arms. Some depictions also show her with 10 heads. So Bonalu dates back to 19th century when disease broke out in the twin cities of Hyderabad and Secunderabad and killed thousands of people. Right before this, a military battalion was deployed from Hyderabad to Ujjain in the state of Madhya Pradesh. When this battalion learned about the epidemic in the cities, they prayed to the goddess in Mahakal temple in Ujjain to get rid of plague. So they prayed that if goddess did so, they would install an idol of the goddess in the city, and it is believed that Mahakal destroyed the disease and kept pestilence away. When the military battalion returned to the city, they installed an idol of the goddess, which was followed by offering of Bonalu to her. So this turned into a tradition that is still followed by all people belonging to Telangana. Another story or legend that is this is the time when goddess Mahakali comes back to her paternal home in Ashada Masam, or the period from late June to August. And so this period is the best time to offer Bonalu to the goddess. So the famous Kaliga temple dedicated to the goddess Kali is only about 200 years old in its present form, but it has been referred to as Mansukh Bhashan, composed in the 15th century and earlier in the earliest form. The Kali Puja begins in 16th century. The famous sage Krishnananda Agambhagish initiates Kali Puja or Kali Varsha in 16th century. Kali Puja gains popularity when Saint Sri Ramakrishna became popular among the Bengalis and wealthy landowners begin holding the festival on a grand scale in 19th century. The plague breaks out in the twin cities of Hyderabad and Secunderabad in present-day Telangana in 1813. So Kali is depicted in her Mahakal form with 10 heads, 10 arms, 10 legs, each of her hands carrying an implement which varies according to different accounts, but all of them represent the power of Hindu god and are often the identifying weapon of the ritual of a given god. Mahakali was born when the goddess Parvati shed her dark skin. Dashat became Kali, leaving Parvati in the form of Gauri. She then battled the demon Raktabija. Kali is not always, though. Kali is not always thought as a god or a dark goddess. Despite her origins in the battle, she evolved into a symbol of Mother Nature. She also possesses creative and nurturing aspects and is referred to as a great and loving primordial mother goddess according to the Hindu Tantric tradition. So we visit the Indian state of Telangana to see the colorful processions, delicious food, and pure devotion that marks Bonalu. You can also use this opportunity to go sightseeing around the state. Lucky for you, the festivities begin at the Sri Jagadamba temple atop the majestic Golconda Fort. That is today. It has begun. So observe festivities in your town, look up the nearest Hindu or Kali temple in your area and visit them to see Bonalu festivities. Pay your respects if you wish and be ready to gobble some delicious food. So prepare bonum made of rice, milk, jaggery at home, show it to the sun god and keep it at the shrine if you have one in your house. After the worship, a priest may decorate the mother goddess and offer puja and bonum in temples. So a celebration of Kali Puja in cities of Kolkata, Bhubaneswar and Guwahati is held in a Raj cremation ground where she is believed to dwell according to some devotees. Kali is mostly portrayed in two forms. One is a popular four-armed form and other is a 10-armed Mahakali form. Although Kali is often associated with the sexuality and violence, she is also considered to be a strong mother figure and symbol of motherly love. The famous Rolling Stones Lips logo was inspired by the Mick Jagger's desire to convey tribute to the goddess Kali. Legend goes that the goddess destroyed the demon Raktabija, his companions, and so, like many other Hindu gods, people have been praying to Kali for a long time. Devotees have been worshipping Kali since 1000 BC. Her origins can be traced to the deities of the village, tribal, and mountain cultures of South Asia. So, Kali is the goddess of death, destruction, and time according to Hindu mythology. She is considered to be the destroyer of evil and the protector of people. She shows the impermanence of all things by wearing a garland of skulls, yet she is also the ultimate transforming power of time. Since the late 1990s, feminist scholars and writers in the United States have seen Kali as a symbol of feminine empowerment. Members of this So since the late 1990s, feminist scholars and writers in the US have been seen Kali as a symbol of feminine empowerment. Members of New Age movements have found theologically and sexually liberating inspiration in her more violent sexual forms. Today is also commemorated as Seychelles Independence Day on June 29th. Seychelles Independence Day that takes place on June 29th. The Seychelles has been a member of the Commonwealth of Nations ever since it was granted independence. In 1976, the anniversary of their independence is usually celebrated by a vibrant display of pride and patriotism that speeds up throughout the city. Streets are usually decorated with the bright colors of Seychelles flag. Even the lamp posts are also decorated with twinkling lights. The skies light up with Day is also commemorated as Outdoor Equipment Maintenance Day on June 29th, a day to help you keep our outdoor equipment in good working order. Today is also commemorated as Outdoor Equipment Maintenance Day, a day to keep our outdoor equipment in good working order. Today is also commemorated as National Diesel Billy Day in US. This National Diesel Billy Day commemorates the birthday and work of musician Bill Kitchen, the self-proclaimed king of Diesel, Diesel Billy. The kitchen is credited with being one of the most boundaries and Today is also commemorated as National Guy Day, which on June 29, which may not be a conventional holiday, but we think it's an excellent way to celebrate all the great guys out there. The name Guy is derived from the Italian and Germanic Guido, which was taken from the Old French guide. That means guide. Guide may also be an anglicization of the Hebrew guide without Revit, the past saint of the comedians and dancers. There is also commemorated as National Waffle Iron Day in US on June 29th every year as a way to celebrate invention of this amazing device. This that allows millions of Americans to enjoy their breakfast. Today is also commemorated as National Rifle Day, National Waffle, which is celebrated on September or October 2020. Today is also commemorated as National Waffle Iron Day, which is celebrated on June 29th every year as a way to celebrate invention of this amazing device that allows millions of Americans to enjoy their breakfast. So waffle irons are found across homes in United States and that are used to make many varieties of waffles, ranging from the simpler waffle to the fancier, more modern takes on this favorite breakfast food. Waffles are believed to have originated in Belgium, and so it is likely that this waffle iron, or at least a primitive version of it, yet invented in Belgium, or its surrounding regions of the Middle Ages. In fact, the early waffle irons were quite versatile and were designed to prepare different types of breakfast foods. Where Dutch and other European began immigrating to America, they brought waffles to the New World and became a common breakfast meal. In fact, President Thomas Jefferson is known to have been quite fond of waffles as he kept a collection of waffle recipes and even had its own waffle maker. In 1869, the first ever American patent for waffle iron was given to Cornelius Swarthout, whereas the first electric waffle iron was invented by Thomas Stackback in the year 1911. The traditional form of waffles, consisting of an egg batter in a waffle iron and topped with cream and berries, did not become popular until 1964 when it was sold at the World's Fair in New York. Today is also commemorated as IMAX Theatre at Tropicana, F1 the movie, the IMAX experience on 29 June every year. In 1990, Sony Says was Formula One most promising driver until an accident on the track nearly ended his career. So 30 years later, the owner of a struggling Formula One team convinces Sony to return to racing and became the best in the world. Driving alongside the team's hotshot rookie, soon learns that the road to the redemption is not something you can travel alone. So this event takes place on multiple dates at multiple times. People make sure you are purchasing tickets for the correct show. Today is also commemorated as National Camera Day in US to celebrate the fact that photography, once so complicated it took a scientist to understand, is now part of everyday lives. The World Photography Day is based on two Greek words that, when put together, mean writing with the light is a beautiful way of describing what a camera can let us do, tell a story without the use of words. It all goes back to more than 800 years to the invention of the camera obscura, meaning dark chamber. The camera obscura was nothing more than a box with a hole. A one-side light would pass through the hole and into the dark interior of the box where it would project an image onto the flat inner surface. Unfortunately, when the light was gone, the image disappeared, like Instagram, but without an actual photo. Fast forward to the century today, when everyone with a smartphone has a camera at their fingertips. Whether you love shooting film or changing lenses or prefer the ease of digital, use June 29 to focus on how cameras have made telling our worries stories easier than ever. Today is also commemorated as National Almond Butter Crunch Day in US, which is an annual event that is celebrated on June 29th every year. It is a day that commemorates the much loved dessert topping, the different ways in which it is prepared, and the unique ways of enjoying it in different regions of the country. People love to sprinkle it on cakes and sweets, while others love adding it to their coffee, whichever you may like to have it. National Almond Butterscotch Day is not a day to be missed. Buttercrunch is a type of hard candy that is often had a standalone dessert or to garnish other desserts. It uses simple recipe that combines toffee, chocolate, and sugar to give a luxurious texture to your desserts. Adding almonds to mix enhances the texture by making it richer and grainier. Since butter is the main ingredient in almond butter crunch, it is believed that the candy originated in the Northern Europe, which is known for its rich and ancient butter making traditions. During the 19th century, sugar was more easily available, so the appropriate date of the origin of butter crunch can be placed in the early 19th century. Today is also commemorated as Log Cabin Day on June 29th in US, which is celebrated annually on the last Sunday of June and takes place on June 29th this year. A log cabin is a small log building with a few rooms and no electricity. It was home to Americans in a time of little sophistication and technology. Today, the mention of a cabin house prompts an image of nice, quiet vacation away from the world of cars, traffic, and computers. Log cabins have a long history in America, and today we celebrate. In the 19th century, the log cabin became a political symbol in America, indicating the humble beginnings and something that resonated with ordinary people. About 7 United States presidents were born in log cabins, including the famous Abraham Lincoln. The idea of making the log cabin a political symbol was used first in 1840 by a presidential candidate called William Henry Harrison. Despite the fact Harrison was not born in such a house, it became a trend as other political candidates recognized its promotional value and continued to use the concept as a symbol of their campaigns. Today is also commemorated as Central Province Day in Solomon Islands on June 29th, also known as Second Appointed Day in the Central Province, is observed on June 29th every year. The Central Province is one of the 9 provinces that make up the Solomon Islands. It spans the Brazil Islands, Florida Islands, and Savo Islands, covering 237 square miles. According to the 2010 census, this area has a population of more than 26,000 people. People in the area celebrate Central Province, which is a day of the general public. Most business, schools, and government offices are closed during this day. So with this, we shall end today's commemorations. Thank you everyone for joining us in these commemorations on this wonderful day. We request everyone to quickly fill up the feedback form, which is shared in the form of polls before leaving the platform. So on July 1st, we are commemorating National Doctors Day. On this occasion, we are planning to honor the doctors. So those who are interested can share a word with you, your colleagues who are doctors or anyone in the health and medical field can share their details so that beforehand we can have all the details, or otherwise also they can join directly on 1st July and be part of the commemorations and celebrations. So see you all tomorrow at the same time, the same joining link with different commemorations. Take care. Good night.